Hey, what's up? Well, back to make another video, and well, gotta make it fast because I really don't know that I won't be interrupted, but I know that I'm starting to have a craving to make videos. But what I want to talk about in here, first of all, I have more Disney dolls. Where does it end? And this was a little Mowgli that I bought. He was in nothing but his red briefs. And there's Shanti, the little girl, and she's more in line with the Sophia dolls and having a built-in non-removable dress. And all he had was red underwear, which to me, that might be the character design, but I absolutely hate it because I think that he was meant to appeal to nasty men. No one can convince me otherwise. And, the other thing I wanted to show is some other Disney dolls. This one is Quasimodo. And I wanted to show him because he's an example of, like, he could be the redhead version of Cedric and Prince James. And he just so happened to be, see, there's Esmeralda. And there's a few other Disney characters. But he just so happened to be in between the heights of those two characters and a redhead. So although he's a freak, he has auburn or red hair in the same style. And he's from 97. That was about when the movie was popular. So, what I want to talk about in this video, just, kind of a continuation. I just so wish I could be rid of some of these Disney items. I mean, I swear, it's getting frustrated, when I cannot find half of my stuff because there's just so much to find. And I really don't know what to do with it. I mean, I've bought so many things over the years that it's like, who's going to appreciate them enough to bid on them or buy them? So, what I want to talk about in this video, just a continuation. I'm kind of on a roll here, actually getting people to watch my videos again. I've kind of rediscovered how to get people to watch my stupid videos, which, it just looks like certain things never get any views, but certain other things do. And so, what I want to talk about is how, there is a puke scene, in that movie that I was discussing, or that I've been discussing for 5 years.
Look at poor Kira. Oh, this was supposed to be our honeymoon.
Sorry.
And it's near the beginning. And so, it's an adult vomiting, clearly vomiting. They show everything but the vomit. And it's Kyra, Kimmy's mom. And, I'm sure that was even in the trailer. But so even if, as I've stated before, even if you could remove that little bitty clip that I've been talking about all these years, and thereby remove the villain's comeuppance from the movie, even if you could do that, and what really baffles me is how, like, all these people that want to say that I'm wrong about what happened, they also say that it's their least favorite of the trilogy, but then they don't want to explain why. They want to dance around the issue as to why they don't like it. And they don't ever want to admit to why that would destroy the movie for them. Why would that plot destroy the movie in their minds? Especially since, if they really have a serious problem with her pooping, I mean, they could just switch it to peeing. If they really wanted me to doubt what I've believed all these years, I mean, you could just try to convince me that 2 + 2 is 4.1 instead of 5 by saying that she simply peed in her clothes. She didn't, do the other. And so, basically, I don't believe that. I mean, I certainly, as a state of before, it'd be saying that 2 + 2 is 4.1, which it absolutely isn't. And, so yeah, it's like, it's still wrong. It's just not wrong by as much. And, so, Just wanted to talk about another thing that I still have never found a way to mention. Is that, the proof that I am correct in what I believe is backed up by everything that I know and have found. It's like the more I find out, the more convinced I am. The proof that I am right, about what I believe is just there. And as I've stated before, the fact that people still don't like the movie. I mean, if they're so sure that it was just Tommy doing it, then why isn't it just as good as the other two? You know what I'm saying? In the trilogy. If Tommy's the only one who could have ever done it, or, one of the babies, the younger babies had to be the ones who did it, well, how is the movie not good? Well, they won't admit to why it's not good. And it's because they want, they're basically, I don't know, some of them might be pedophiles who have sexualized, this toddler character voiced by an adult. But you see, what you have to realize is that at the end of the day, no matter which character did it, really none of them did. No matter which character is intended to have done it, they're all voiced by women at the end of the day. Not a one of them is an actual baby or a male. They're all adult women. So for any of them to, be mentioning poop or, discussing their poop is absolutely unacceptable to me. And the existence of other things that are also gross or more gross in the world doesn't excuse that. You know what I'm saying? The fact that other things could be worse out there doesn't excuse a show being marketed at children, especially the youngest group of children. I don't really mind the puke scenes, but are they going to try to deny that too? Are they going to try to deny that Kira vomited near the beginning, kind of as a subliminal message as to what the movie is? I think that may have even been in the trailer, and my mom said, "Oh, that looks like crap." And that could have been part of what influenced her decision. She may have seen Kira vomiting. She may have seen Chucky in his briefs, which, as you can see from Mowgli, I do not like to see little boys in their briefs. I hate it. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's acceptable. I don't care how many men just sleep like that, including my own dad. I don't like to see it, because as someone who kind of somewhat identifies as a little boy, spelled B-O-I, because obviously I don't have the Y chromosome. As someone who somewhat identifies as a boy, spelled differently, a different kind of boy, a softer boy, but cannot do that for obvious reasons, can't go around in my underwear. It offends me to see little boys, just going around in a way that little girls would never be allowed to do. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that I enjoy seeing, and that's why I don't really like the character of Mowgli. Never did like him, because I just felt like, he could have covered his body. I just don't like him. And it's a shame. I've always thought there should have been like Barbie scale Mowgli dolls that could have been manufactured looking like that, but that you could dress up in clothes that you make yourself or buy for other dolls. I've always thought that would be awesome, to have like a Disney store Mowgli, that's proportional in height to a Barbie, like about 8 or 9 inches. That'd be awesome. That'd be freaking awesome to have a brown boy to add to the Barbie collection, and he'd be a Disney character. And that'd be a freaking awesome addition to the Skipper Girls. But the first thing I would ever do would be find some way to clothe him. Find some way to put him in something that makes him less offensive to me, as a closet F to M, so to speak, though my parents don't want to hear that. Someone who secretly identifies with a name in the book of Daniel that was clearly a king's name and not a queen's name. Someone who, I could almost title a book Secretly That Name, but I guess I think Do You Hear the Train would be a better title for my autobiography. But, so, I mean, it offends me to see little boys in their underwear because little girls and women are not allowed to go around like that. And I don't care if the rest of the world, thinks male nipples are just fine. It's not cool with me. It is not. I don't care, what anyone says about it. Even if you could take out, the Angelica pooping herself thing, you're still left with a woman vomiting, and you're still left with a man getting hit in the family jewels. That's Nigel. You're still left with a little boy in his briefs, meeting another little boy without a shirt, which I never liked Donnie Thornberry either, because he goes without a shirt all the time. I just hate it. I just will never be turned on by a man without a shirt. Never. Because I've never been allowed to go around that way. Not even when I didn't have boobs. My first decade of life, I was not allowed to just go around exposing my nipples. And, so it will always offend me, to see characters that are male, and as such, they're allowed to have a standard outfit that doesn't include a shirt. Bam Bam, I don't like that on him. No shirt look. Flintstones would have been so much better had he some sort of a top. So yeah, I mean, there's other objectionable content in that movie besides what I've discussed. And, cure vomiting, was just one small thing out of many like that. And, I mean, no one can ever change what I believe. And, oh, the other thing I keep forgetting to mention is that the way that Angelica is dressed, okay, just that, I feel like the whole movie was just basically centered around debasing her. It was just all about the humiliation of Angelica in a way that even she didn't fully understand as a 3-year-old character. Just the mere fact that she's barefoot when she normally isn't. But the way that she's dressed, I feel like they hid things in children's media in a subliminal way because they made things colorful and, cutesy. But if you switch them over, or you see them in grayscale, and like you trade out the island princess skirt that she was wearing made of leaves, and the little bracelets, the Hawaiian bracelets that she made and all that, and anklets. Well, if you exchange that for black leather, and you imagine that she's not wearing her white dress under that, that would be a very adult look. To have just a black leather skirt and some kind of a bathing suit or a black bathing suit and black bracelets and anklets, that would be like a BDSM, very adult look. If you colored all that black instead of green and removed the white dress. It's a very disturbing, unsettling look for her. And I feel like the people behind the show really knew this. They really did know this. And as a result, a lot of the, maybe not all, but a lot of the children's books that were made out of this movie pertaining to that completely changed that aspect. Some of the coloring books may have only had her in like 2 pictures where she's still in her white dress with white shoes, her sailor dress. And, a lot of them, it's like they all but omitted her as a character. They pretty much omitted her role and just focused on the other characters being the main ones there, like she was just there for the ride and didn't do anything. And, they downplayed a lot of what was going on with her in the movie, in the children's books. And they took out the line in question. And, but it will always be renamed in my mind what I've called it. No one can ever change or gaslight me on that. And the other one, Curse of Princess Ivy, they did that to a lesser extent were in the lines that I feel like, they hit a lot in the audio of these children's shows. There's a lot of lines probably in children's movies that were never transcribed, and you're not supposed to hear them, but they're like hiding them in the music. There's a line at the end where Angelica's mom is talking to the doctor after she's changed into just a bathing suit. And he says, just try some cheese. Okay, well, what goes over people's heads is, why do you need to eat cheese? What condition can be helped with cheese? Starts with a D and ends in REA. And so, and the thing about, The Curse of Princess Ivy, I've never bought any of the children's books, but I'll bet if you did, they certainly wouldn't have, Amber's hidden line that they wanted almost inaudible. A little throw up is a small thing. And so that movie also will always be remembered for what they tried to hide. And the most interesting thing to me. So, while not as bad, I certainly would never, think that's as serious. Because it's almost like the Rugrats, do stuff like that so openly, whereas Sophia the First was so innocent that, even some of the stuff the Rugrats people were willing to put in the trailer, had to be hidden in Sophia the First. So, I feel like, there are some creepy people behind the scenes of all these shows. I don't trust a single one of them. I don't have any one of them on a pedestal, because I know the kind of nasty thinking that goes into, for instance, designing a character that's a little boy, a prepubescent little boy, to have a permanent I'm in my underwear look. I don't care what culture he's from. Why do our white American children need to see that? Yes, sure, I'd buy a doll of him, but I would want to dress him and actually cover his body. And there's just a certain nasty way of thinking, and I also, I'm just more of the same. I don't believe Angelica was ever toilet trained to begin with. The mere fact that she slept in footy pajamas all throughout the series, you know why footy pajamas were invented? It wasn't to look cute. It was to keep stuff from running down their legs if they had an accident. And I don't have any use for footy pajamas of my own. I wouldn't buy them. If you're not in the I sleep in my nightgown with no panties phase, then you're not truly potty trained. If you're not in the I never fart in my clothes phase, then you're not potty trained. Potty training includes all states of matter, and I wrote a song about that that I'll be releasing soon. So yeah, this video's way too long. But yeah, I just want to go ahead and post that, and say that even if, you could take out, what I see as Angelica messing herself, because it couldn't be more obvious to me, you would still be left with Kira vomiting in a much more overt, non-discreet way than Cedric on Sophia the First, and any other character on Sophia the First. And you still would not be left with a movie that I consider acceptable to kids, or even the whole TV series, because, I'm finding a lot, well, not recently, but upon further review, the whole series was a lot less innocent than what met the eye. A lot of hidden stuff. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and post this video.
Look at poor Kira. Oh, this was supposed to be our honeymoon.